Hello, this is Carol Payne, and I want to show you tonight, I want to show you this card that I created with the Snow Wonder stamp set. It's a new stamp set in the August to December 2020 mini catalog. If you don't have one of these, you need one. If you already have one from another demonstrator, good for you. If you have not gotten one if you need one, and you'd like to get one from me, leave a comment after this video and with your snail mail address, and I will mail one to you. What we're going to do is we're going to use Snow Wonder. Now, Snow Wonder is on page 39 of the catalog, and I may be a little bit too close to this, but I'm going to go with it. It's this stamp set. This was one of the very first stamp sets when I first saw the mini catalog, which I'm going to call it holiday catalog because it's just easier for me, and you know what I'm talking about. So when I got the holiday catalog, I wanted Snow Wonder. So I got the Snow Wonder bundle. It is this stamp set and these dies. Now, the thing is, it shows these two dies right here. They are not part of the die set. There are no rectangles in the die set. What's actually in the die set, and everybody makes mistakes. You know, I'm going to make them while I'm doing these videos. But Stampin' Up! Made a mistake, and they showed these two dies like they were part of it, and they're not. All the rest are the snowman, these two labels, the trees, and this is for the wreath, to cut out the wreath. When you're looking at a stamp set in the catalog, if it has this shadowed gray around it, that means there's a die or a punch to cut or punch that out. But what there is, if you look here, right here, there's a little corner guy here and a little corner guy there of snowflakes. That's what takes the place of these two rectangles. I have rectangles. I have stitched rectangle dies. I don't need more rectangles, but I did want these little, I was excited when I found out that instead of the rectangles, I was getting these little corner snowflakes. I'll be using those on a future card in a future video. So I wanted to use this stamp set. But what I decided was that I wanted to make this card. These samples in this catalog are worth getting the catalog. Now, they're not expensive. Like I said, I will mail you one for free. But I wanted to make this one. I love this In the Pines stamp set and this In the Pines bundle. But I have a lot of pine tree and tree stamp sets already. So rather than get another one, I decided to make my card like this, but with this stamp set. So that's what I did. That's what's nice about it. You can make it any way you want to. So we're going to start first with, this is a piece of 8.5 by 5.5, and I've scored it in the middle at 4 1/4. I'm going to fold it on that scored line. Now I can do it with my fingers, but you know what? My fingernails don't like it when I do that. So I'm going to use my bone folder to get a nice crisp crease, and it's ready to go. Now, next, I'm going to use a piece that is 5 1/4 by 4. Now, all of these dimensions will be on my blog in the PDF tutorial that will be there. So 5 1/4 by 4. And so then I'm going to take, this is one of the stamps in the Snow Wonder set. It's called Christmas Wishes and Joyful Greetings. So I'm going to use some soft suede cardstock, and I'm going to stamp with soft suede ink. So I'm just going to stamp across here, and then I'm going to move it around a little bit so that they're not all lined up together. Be sure you pat that a few more times so you get a real good crisp thing. Good crisp contact and lots of ink. So I'm going to stamp all that, and when I'm done, they are kind of going downhill, but that's okay. It's a background. I'm not going to worry about it. So I've got it all done. The soft suede on the soft suede looks really cool. And then we're going to take a Stampin' Sponge, which is just a little piece, used it a lot, and flick it. Hear that noise? That's what you want it to make, the sound you want it to make. That way you know you're going to get a nice darker edge and then a little bit of softness with that with that on there. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to, as soon as I get finished with this, I meant to have one ready to go, but okay. So then this is going to go on here with some Stampin' Seal. Stampin' Seal is our new adhesive. We don't have snail anymore. Now we have Stampin' Seal. It's thicker. You don't have to use as much. What you're going to do is you're just going to put a little bit in those corners. And to get it started, you want to make sure that the adhesive is right here on this, the tip of this edge. See that there? There's adhesive there. And then you're just going to put little bits. You kind of turn it a little bit so that it comes off. If you lift it up while it's still there, it's going to string out and then you're going to have a mess. But you just need little bits because it's really nice and strong. So I'm going to put that on there. And then set that aside. Next, we are going to prepare the gold hoop. Now the gold hoops, I'm very impressed with. I thought when I first saw these that these would be kind of flimsy, but they are not. They are strong and sturdy. They'll make great Christmas ornaments, all kinds of things. I don't think I've even started to figure out what I'm going to do with all of these. But there are 10 in the package, and they're sturdy. So what you want to do is you want to take some mini glue dots, and I'm going to kind of squish them as I take them off. Start squishing them so that they're kind of smaller. You can see it there. And stick it on the edge of the hoop and kind of conform it with your fingers so that it's hoop width. And I'm just going to put a couple on here to get started. I'll add some more before I'm done. But I've just put kind of across from each other. And then I'm going to take, this is about 6 inches of cinnamon cider in color ribbon. Fold that in half, flat. Lay it down here. And then you're going to lay that hoop where those, so that the glue dots are on the ribbon. Now, and you lay it back over here, and you want it to splay a little bit. So see, you don't want it to lay right on top of it, because then it kind of gets lost. So you're going to take another glue dot, and you're going to put it just above where you did it the first, where the ribbon is originally. And then you'll lay this over, kind of pull it tight, and smish it down on that next glue dot. So you've got, and it's stuck to my table too, but that's okay. So you've got your ribbon on there. Now, we're going to prepare the pines. So we're going to use Garden Green ink and stamp that. And then we're going to cut it out. Now, this is one of those. Remember I said that when you look at the catalog and you see something that has this gray area around it, that means that there's a die fit just perfectly to cut it out. So you're going to put that on there. And you just have to play with it just a little bit to make sure that you've got it everywhere so that it's not sideways or too low or too high. It can scoot when you get it into your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So use a piece of painter's tape, or in this case this is some retired washi tape that I use. Cover that. That goes through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss, which I'm not going to do that right now. But when you're done, then you've got your little pine trees. So this is going to go on then with some Stampin' Dimensionals. And I use the mini ones a lot because you get a whole bunch of them. It doesn't take as many. Have a lot more of them. So that's going to go on top of, actually, next thing we're going to do. I forgot. Here we go. Now, next, we're going to put some more dimensional, or some more glue dots. And sometimes you can just smash the glue dot. See how I just smashed that on there and picked that up? You're going to do that on both sides. Just smash it in. That way you've still got the whole width of it. You could even smash one into the middle if you wanted to. And then you're going to put, so we've got them there and there, and kind of smushed into the middle. And you may be able to get away with only putting them there. We'll see. So now I'm going to put that on the front of my card. I think that will hold it pretty good. Those two on the ends that are wrapped around the hoop and the one in the middle. And then you're going to take and add this one on top, your pine trees on top with Stampin' Dimensionals. And then you're going to add your, the next thing you're going to want to do is add your shimmery crystal effects. Now this is a returning product from the holiday catalog last year. They gave us a list, told us what was returning, so I didn't get rid of this. I kept it. Now, it's not going to last you forever as far as staying clear. Mine has gotten kind of yellowed. I don't think that really matters with this one. You may, when yours comes, it may be clearer. I'm going to order me some more so that I know how it looks this year. So I'm just going to show you on here. It comes out not too fast, but kind of thick. So you want to kind of spread it out on top of the already built into the stamp. Already has the snowed in areas. So you just cover up those. This needs to sit and dry for about probably 10 minutes or more before it's completely dry and it's not going to be sticking to your fingers and other things. You want to make sure you get your lid back on. And let's set this aside to dry. When it's ready, then you're going to, you've already put this on with dimensionals and you've already got this attached to your card. So you can even put this on and then put your shimmery crystal effects on it after it's on the card, and then you can let it set aside to dry. Now, the next thing is I want to show you is these little acorns. Now, I know that acorns do not grow on pine trees. Pine cones do, but we don't have pine cones. We have acorns, and I think they're really pretty. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, this is a piece of, and this is part of the supply list that's on my blog, that's in the tutorial. This is some of the basket weave and metallic ribbon combo pack. It actually is with the Beautiful Autumn, Gilded Autumn suite, and this is the metallic part of that. There's some other really pretty mint macaron ribbon that goes with it. But here we go. I just took about 3 inches and I threaded it through that little loop on the top of the acorn, and I'm just going to tie it in a knot just one time. And then I'm going to take my scissors and trim that. Try to get it so that it's even. And then this is going to go on here below the edge of the trees with a glue dot. And I'm going to smush this right onto a glue dot. See how I'm doing that? Just smushing it right on there. So I get the full effect of the whole glue dot. Pull that off. Still have a lot of glue dot smushed around there, but it's not too smushed. Just enough to kind of match the back of that knot. And then it's going to go on here. I'm going to stick it down here this time, even though I don't have my tree on it. So you're going to stick that down. Now you could probably stick it actually to the hoop if you wanted to, but so that's just your preference. And then this is going to have the trees, the hoop, the cinnamon cider ribbon, and the little acorn embellishment, which is so cute. Now for the inside, we're going to use a piece of crumb cake, which is 3.5 by 4 3/4, and the mat for it is 3 5/8 by 4 7/8. Now this again is on the PDF tutorial, so you will not have to write this down while you're watching this. I like the size because, and I'll show you on my finished one, it just makes a nice look. You can get 5 of these crumb cake ones out of one piece of 8.5 by 11 cardstock. That's kind of a saver for cardstock, but also That way, all of your images, your sentiment and your images that you stamp are going to be kind of closer together. And I know I'm wordy when I talk, but when I sit down to write something, my mind goes blank. So this way, there's not too much room. I can say, love Carol, or love Mark and Carol, or love the Payne clan, which is what we call our whole group. We have 6 children and 12 grandchildren right now. And not everybody's married even. We've still got one more to get married. But so I use that to stamp the words. And sending you blessings and magic this Christmas season is another sentiment found in Snow Wonder. Just like that. And then we will be stamping with the garden green again down here in the corner of the trees. I'm not going to put the crystal effects on these though on the inside. It's just takes too long to dry, and I'm afraid I'd end up with it stuck together, especially if I do put this through the mail. This is probably going to be a hand deliver card because that's awfully fat. See how much it sticks out? That would get stuck in a mail machine. Although you can put another piece of cardstock over the top of it, which would help. But I have a feeling this would end up being an extra postage thing. But I do give a hand deliver a lot of cards. We have a post office little box at our church. And instead of giving the money to the post office for the stamps, we put our money for the stamps in a offering box and we give it to missionaries. So probably don't want to mail this. Okay, so I've got this stamped. I'm going to sponge the edges. Then it's going to be attached to this little garden green mat. And then that's going to go inside. Ta-da. Now, I'm also going to stamp the envelope, which I've already done. I don't like my envelopes to be naked. This little Christmas tree, these little pine trees, snowy pine trees are just perfect for that. So I've stamped a very vanilla envelope, and that is all. So if you need a holiday catalog, please leave a comment at the below here at the below this video and with your snail mail address, and I will send you one. If you'd like to order, you can go to the carolpayne.stampinup.net. If you're viewing this on Facebook or on YouTube, go to carolpaynestamps.com to get the PDF, the tutorial, the measurements, the supply list, all of that is there. And if you would, use the August host code of S4BFB273. And I hope to see you again soon. I'll be stamping again. Thanks.